So, a very good morning to one and all. At the outset, I would like to thank AOS for allowing me to present here. So, I'll be presenting a case of management of Tourette-Zavalia syndrome with a high vault after implantable colamal lens surgery. So, there's no financial interest in this presentation. So, this is about a 27-year-old lady who presented to our hospital in November 2019 with complaints of glare and photophobia in the left eye for the last 1 month. She underwent ICL surgery elsewhere for a myopic refractive error. At presentation, the visual acuity in the right eye was 6 by 6 and 6. Anterior chamber depth was within normal limits. The pupil was around 3 millimeters in size. It was round, regular, and reacting to light. The ICL vault was around 1 corneal thickness, and the lens was clear, and the IOP was within normal limits. In the left eye, the uncorrected visual acuity was 6 by 9 and 6. The anterior chamber depth was in the periphery, it was shallow. A striking feature in this eye was that the pupil was around 8 millimeters in size and it was dilated and fixed. Another feature was that the optic of the ICL was captured at 5 o'clock position at the pupillary border. The ICL vault was around 1.5 corneal thickness. The lens was clear and the IOP was within normal limits. This is on retroillumination. You can see clearly that the pupil was around 8 millimeters in size. It was dilated, it was fixed, and there was an optic capture of the ICL at around 5 o'clock position. As the peripheral anterior chamber depth in the left eye was shallow, a glaucoma opinion was taken, and the gonioscopy in both eyes showed that in the right eye showed that the angles were open, whereas in the left eye, the superior nasal quadrant, the angle was closed. However, the disc was healthy and the rest of the fundus was within normal limits. The vault on aosity of the left eye showed around 1000 microns, which was equal to 2 corneal thickness. When the patient presented to our hospital in November 2019, we have done the basic ocular evaluation and the patient was asked to review with the previous surgical reports. The patient went to the different hospital in August 2019 for LASIK evaluation. At the time of presentation, she had a refractive error of -3 in both eyes. The topography in both eyes showed the corneal thickness was around 450 microns. And as the cornea was thin, she was denied any refractive procedure on the cornea and was advised ICL implantation in both eyes. She underwent ICL in both eyes at the same hospital with the gap of 15 days between both the eyes. The operative notes got from the hospital showed that the white to white measurement in both the eyes, the right and left eye, was around 11.8 millimeters. The anterior chamber depth was similar, which was around 3.09 and 3.11 in both the eyes respectively. The ICL implanted in the right eye was a non-toric star Visian ICL, which was around size 13.2 millimeters. In the left eye, the similar ICL of the same size, 13.2 millimeters, was implanted. Day one post-operative notes at that hospital showed that the visual acuity in the right eye was 6.6 with the ICL in place and the vault was within normal limits. Whereas the left eye, the visual acuity was 6.9, the AC was shallow and the pupil was fixed and was around 8 millimeters in size. As the vault was very high on first post-operative day, the surgeon tried to remove the optic capture by constricting the pupil by taking the patient to the theater and injecting intracameral pilocarpine. But he was unsuccessful in doing that. The patient was referred to another in Hyderabad, where the similar procedure was tried, and the surgeon tried to constrict the pupil by giving intracameral pilocarpine, but the procedure was unsuccessful, and patient was referred to our hospital. At our hospital, we have done HVF in view of the shallow anterior chamber, and a specular microscopy was also done because the patient underwent multiple intraocular procedures in the last 3 months. The HVF in both sides showed that there was no visual field defect. The specular in the left eye showed a good endothelial count with a good endothelial cell morphology. Hence, a diagnosis of high vault with a secondary angle closure and a fixed dilated pupil in the left eye was made, and the patient was advised to undergo ICL rotation with pupilloplasty in the same sitting under local anesthesia. Under local anesthesia, after injecting viscoelastic into the anterior chamber, ICL was dialed with ICL manipulator from the horizontal to the vertical position. The ICL was not brought into the anterior chamber, and under the iris itself, the ICL was rotated from the horizontal to the vertical orientation. Then a single fourth-row pupilloplasty, as described by Dr. Agarwal.
All due respect, it's in my humble request to Dr. Arjun to please sum it up in 30 seconds, please. It's already time up.
M0 Prolene suture. And it was done at the temporal and the nasal border of the pupil so that the pupil size reduced to 4 millimeters in size. At the end of the procedure, viscoelastic was removed and patient was given antibiotic steroid. And day one post-operative visit, the visual acuity was 6.9, improving to 6.6 parts. ICL was in place. The pupil reduced from 8 millimeters to 4 millimeters size. And at 1 year, visual acuity was 6/6. The vault was adequate. It reduced from 1000 microns to 200 microns, and the pupil was still at 4 millimeters in size. The IOP was within normal limits. So, take-home point from this case are that the white-to-white measurement in the horizontal mirror is larger, but the sulcus diameter in the vertical mirror. So, any non-toric ICL can be rotated vertically if the postoperative vault is high. The failure to identify this single step can lead to an irreversible side effect like dilated fixed pupil and angle closure subsequently. Pupilloplasty technique improves the cosmetic appearance of the fixed dilated pupil and also reduces the glare and photophobia. So, and this is the first time that we have described the pupilloplasty in an eye with the ICL. And previous Zurab-Zavalia syndrome have been described in literature, but they only mentioned conservative management for those cases. This is the first time that we performed a pupilloplasty along with vertical orientation of the ICL to reduce the anisocoria and the height.
Apologizing, Dr. Arjun. I'm really very sorry, but the time is up.
Thank you so much.
Actually, we exceeded more than 1 minute, and I think we don't have a time for the discussion. But still, if chairpersons would like to go for one question, we can go for 30 seconds only. Over to the chairperson.
Hello, Arjun.
Yeah. Sir.
Both the white to white were same, and were they measured with the same thing, or you don't know about that?
We don't know about how they was measured, sir, but the operative notes show that the white to white in both eyes was same, and the ICL size also was same in both eyes.
Okay.
So I have one question. So what is the difference between the horizontal and vertical diameter, sulcus diameter? I mean, usual.
Normally in any eye, the horizontal white to white is lesser, whereas the sulcus
No, I mean a difference of
around 0.2 millimeters.
in microns. It's 200 microns, you say.
Yes, sir. Yes.
But your vault has reduced from 1000 microns to 200 microns. That is 800 micron difference. How did you achieve that?
So what we thought was, because we have done a pupilloplasty, there were two sutures which are put.